Hello, welcome to another episode of Funjelah. We are in our hotel room on the road. We're currently in Boston, and my guest on this episode is a very good friend of mine named Nick Varano. He owns a bunch of restaurants in Boston. His original restaurant is Strega in the North End. Very well known here. Nick is such an incredible human being. On this conversation that we have, he shares with us some of his failures in business, some of his big wins in business, and then we found out that he's an Oscar-winning actor, like a legitimate Oscar-winning actor. Tells us that incredible story of how that even happened. This is such a fun, enlightening conversation. I'm so grateful that he took time to come and sit with us. Love Nick, and you guys are going to love him too when you watch this episode. And don't forget, if you want to call us and tell us what you're grateful for or mad about, give us your matitude. The phone number is, Danielle.
747-300-5380.
That's right. Call us, tell us what your gratitude is or your matitude. And don't forget to like us on all the things that you can like us on. Leave a comment. Subscribe to all the things you can subscribe. Go leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Tell everybody why you love this podcast, Funjelah, and enjoy this episode with my friend Nick Varano.
Also, you're on tour.
Oh, yeah. I'm on tour. Guys, duh. I'm out here on the road right now. I'm on tour. Go to my website, Anjelah.com. See when I'm coming to a city near you. Get your tickets to the family reunion tour. We're having a great time. We're just riding a bus all across the country with my whole family, my whole crew. So bring your family. I'll bring my family and come see me at the family reunion tour. Now, enjoy this episode with Nick Varano. How many restaurants do you have now?
So right now I have 3 in the North End in the Italian neighborhood.
Oh my gosh.
And then I have 3 in the Encore Boston Harbor.
What are they? Tell me about your...
So the original one that started everything
Strega.
in the neighborhood is the original Strega in the North End. Then I have Nico, named after my son Nico. And we just opened up my mother's cutlets, which my kids did in honor of my wife.
Really?
Yeah, she makes the greatest chicken cutlets in the world. She can't cook many more things than that.
But
her
but
chicken
them cutlets, though.
They're crazy. They make your hair stand up. So we just opened up, and it's been amazing, truly unbelievable. And then in Encore Boston Harbor, we have Fratelli's, Frank and Nick's, and Giardino.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fun.
Wow. You're like the most popular restaurateur guy. Everybody knows you in Boston because I remember... First, let's tell everybody how I met you. I was doing a show at the Wilbur Theater, and the owner of the theater comes up to me after the show, and he's like, "Hey, I have a friend here with his daughter. Do you mind if I bring him back to say hello to you?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course, bring him." And it's you and your daughter. You come back, and she was so young at the time.
Yep.
Like now, she's stunning, gorgeous, just gem of a human being. And I met you guys. You're like, "I have a restaurant. We'd love to treat you guys after the show." And I'm like, "Sure, okay, yeah, we'll come to the restaurant, whatever." We go to your restaurant, and I remember this is like one of my first road man. This is a long time ago.
Right.
One of my first road managers at the time, and then a guy who was opening for me who had never opened for me before. It was my first time working with him. And the 3 of us go to your restaurant, and you spoiled us and brought out everything on the menu. And we were just like, "Oh, okay." And I remember the guy being like, "Oh my gosh, like if I keep opening for Anjelah, like this is my new life. I get to experience this." Meanwhile, I don't ever experience this. And I'm just like, yeah. Just,
It's a Tuesday night. It's nothing.
And I remember too, and that night, Bill Burr was at your restaurant, and he was in the back room, I think maybe like his engagement party or something. He was celebrating something.
I remember he was there.
Yeah, and it was like a whole thing of like, I'm getting spoiled. Bill Burr's in the other room. Like, what is this? And ever since then, you have been my Boston Godfather who just takes care of me every time I come to visit. And you've been so lovely, your whole family. And even I remember your daughter was coming to LA to be an actress for a little bit. And, you know, we were going to take care of her when she came out to LA. And we've just been connected since then. And you've always been so generous and so kind. And I'm so grateful for you coming and being on this podcast.
Well, I'm the one who should be grateful because I'm truly a comedy fan. And my daughter showed me this skit many years ago that you did. Obviously, that went crazy, viral before viral actually was a thing. And obviously, it was the nail skit, and I peed my pants. And she goes, Dad, can we go see her when she comes? I go, yeah, I'll call, I think Bill Bloomerich, I called, who owned the comedy store, the Wilbur Theater. At the time, I said, Bill, my daughter wants to meet Anjelah if it's possible. It really was me that wanted to meet you. And anyway, when we met you, we fell in love with you. Not just because obviously how funny you are, but I'm also funny too. So I mean, that
hilarious.
didn't stand out. But,
Yeah.
but I seen the type of person you were inside.
Thank
and when you
you.
came to the restaurant, I says, wow, she's so friggin' nice. Like, she's really nice. And we get a bunch of celebrities. And I don't want you to think you're special.
Okay. No, I'm not.
No, because you're not. Because we spoil everybody that we invite into our restaurants. We make everybody feel like everybody's going to be nice to Anjelah Johnson, right? Bullshit. Everyone's going to be nice to you because you're Anjelah Johnson. I think our recipe for success has been treat everybody like they're Anjelah Johnson. Treat everybody like they're Bill Burr. Treat everybody like they're a celebrity or somebody, because they are.
Yeah.
Right? We all put on our pants
That's right.
the same way.
That's right.
Right? Come on with this. So I'm the one who should be grateful for being introduced into your life, because you were so nice when Marina moved out to LA originally. You were like, have her come over for dinner, have her come by, whatever she needs, I'll call you, blah, 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 blah. It was like having an extended arm out there in LA, and that meant a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. And I remember we had another connection too, because I ended up filming a movie with James Gandolfini, with Jim. And
God rest his soul, my friend Jimmy.
Oh my gosh. I was so starstruck when I met him, and I remember he called me out on it, and he was one of the most lovable,
Look,
kind
I got the chills.
souls.
I know you can't see. I swear to God, I got the chills. Genuine.
Yes.
Real.
Yes.
Not full of shit.
I remember being on the set and being so quiet. And you know me, like, I'm like laughing, whatever, but I was like quiet, and I was like stuck. And I remember him saying, "You're a quiet one, huh?" And I was like, "I'm actually not." And I'm like, I just, in front of you, I don't know why I'm being like this. I'm so sorry. Like, it's so dumb. And then he kept calling me mama for the rest of the, shoot. And like, hey, mama. And then he came to my trailer to ask me for a picture for his son. He was like, my son wants a picture with you. I was like, oh my God, I wanted to come to your trailer and ask for a picture with you, but there's no way I would ever do that. But then you came to my trailer. Oh my God, thank you so much. And he was just such a lovely, just human being. And I remember finding out you guys were friends.
Yes.
And tell me a little bit about that, about your guys' friendship.
So when I opened up the restaurant, I wanted to separate myself a little bit, because in our neighborhood, there's 110 restaurants, all serve Italian food, all amazing, one better than the other. We all serve veal chicken pasta. So before I opened this little 56-person restaurant, I came up with an idea. I says, I want to get the cast of The Sopranos, which at the time, 2003, was the #1 show in cable history. History. And I made a few calls, and the guys came and showed up for my little restaurant grand opening.
Wow.
The Sopranos come visit their friend Nick Varano's North End Eatery. Was the headline of the Boston Globe,
No
the Boston
way.
Herald. Just so you know, before Instagram and Facebook and all that, they were newspapers.
Yeah.
So on the cover of the newspaper, which was a big
Printed.
deal at the time, printed, right, ink, was the picture of the Sopranos coming to visit me. And I'm forever grateful to all those guys, Vinny Pastor and Jimmy and all those guys. That was so good to me.
Yeah.
Because the next day, you couldn't get in. And in Boston, our celebrities, unfortunately, Anjelah Johnson, you live on the West Coast.
Yeah.
So
Nobody knows.
So our celebrities here are our athletes, right?
Yeah.
Bruins, Red Sox, Celtics, Patriots. Well, the next night, the phone didn't stop. David Ortiz wanted to come in. Paul Pierce wanted to come in. Tom Brady wanted to come in. They all wanted to come in because the Sopranos were there.
Wow.
And that was the beginning of everything. So I owe a lot of my success to all those guys coming to visit. And, and then obviously having the best staff, I think, in the restaurant industry at the time that helped me grow was the secret of my success.
Can you tell me a little bit about how you got here? Because you come from humble beginnings. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got here?
Absolutely. So you talk about being grateful. I can't even think about how grateful I am to my mother and father, but in particular my mother. Mm-hmm. My mother married my father in Italy, a small town in Calabria, at 16. Set up marriage. Didn't know my father.
Really? Really?
No, 3 weeks after the day they met, they didn't see each other for 3 weeks. They got married. My grandmother set it up because my father had already come to this country.
Okay.
My mother was one of 16 kids, 14 brothers.
No way.
No language, no nothing, never seen a man before in her life. Has to come to America by herself with this stranger.
Oh my gosh.
They come to Boston. And then my mother here went to hairdressing school. Gone to hairdressing school. Little by little, she started bringing her brothers here, her mother and father here, got their paperwork, started bringing went to hairdressing school. Unfortunately, her and my dad got divorced when I was 4 or 5 years old. They had a great relationship after, but got divorced. So my mother was all alone in raising me. And we were on welfare and all that. And we lived in the North End. But there was so many great people in that neighborhood to this day. I mean, there's nothing like our neighborhood. And I grew up in the streets, you know, with my mother, who's my guardian angel now, but making sure I was on the right track.
Right.
And I went to work very young. I quit school in the 9th grade.
No way.
Yeah, little tidbit. 9th grade, I went to Copley Square High for about 6 months before I got thrown out. I was there with Mark and Donnie Wahlberg, actually.
Really?
At Copley Square International High. Google it. So I get thrown out of school. I start working at my uncle's store.
Why'd you get thrown out? What'd you do?
I was fresh. Little fresh. But I got fortunate because I went right to work at my uncle's store. And I worked from 4:30 in the morning to 11 o'clock at night every day with my grandfather there. And I knew that I wanted a better life for my mother first.
Yeah.
And then my mother remarried, had 3 sisters, so I wanted to make sure they had a better life. And then a girl came in to work in the store. Her name was Michelle. She was 14. She told me she was 15. She lied. I was 16 and a half, 17. Back then you could do that. Neighborhood girl. And we got married young.
How young?
She was 9. She was 20. I was 23.
Wow.
Well, she got pregnant.
Okay. So you got married.
We had my son Nico, and then we have my daughter Marina. And I'm gonna tell you what I think the secret to life is. When you say, what am I grateful for the most?
Yep.
Besides my 2 children, that to this day, luckily, I've never had one sleepless night. Neither one of them has ever had a drink. Neither one of them, and they're 31 and 29, because I never drank my whole life. I never did a drug, never drank.
Stop.
Never. A lot of people don't know that. Never. And I had some of the biggest wine lists.
Yeah, how?
Because all I did was eat. Look at me. I was 400 pounds my whole life.
You were.
Right.
So you don't know this, but he used to be a lot. But when I first met him, he was a lot bigger.
Yeah, but tell them how good I look now.
Yeah, hey.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Incredible.
Right.
Incredible.
But I'm telling you, the secret in life is truly who you meet and you spend the rest of your life with. Because my wife became, I never thought anybody could surpass my mother. Ever. My mother would give you her arm.
Yeah.
A stranger need, I take it. Go ahead, don't worry. If she had nothing, she gave it to you. She grew up with nothing. And I got lucky because the person that I married, that I met when she was 14, no boyfriend, no nothing. I mean, first, really became a bigger inspiration to me than my mother.
Wow.
Because the way she raised my kids and the way she took care of the house and me and all that, it's really something that today is very hard to find and exists.
That's right.
I feel bad for people because of social media a little bit, right? It's such a powerful tool in so many ways, good and bad. But that's what I'm most grateful for.
Wow.
Forget about, the restaurants and all that and success and, failures.
That's right.
If you would ask me what I want my legacy to be, it's, 30 years, 40 years from now, when I'm gone, God forbid, my kids walk down Hanover Street where they grew up and they say, your father was a good guy. That's it. And the same thing, the biggest compliment that Anjelah can ever get, ever. I don't give a shit what are you funny? Absolutely you're funny. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. Okay, now what? Is that someday someone says to you about your children, I don't know, what good kids they are.
Yeah.
They're really good kids.
Yeah.
That's better than any success you can. I don't give a shit if you sell out Madison Square Garden for a month straight. Don't matter.
Sure.
So that's what I'm grateful for the most.
Amen. What I had to go was I'm listening to you talk and thinking about your wife, who has been like your backbone as your dreaming, because you're a dreamer coming from these humble beginnings, and you started these restaurants. So you have some successful restaurants, but you don't just have wins. You have losses throughout your journey. Walk me through like one of your losses that you experienced and how your wife was your backbone through it, how she helped you get through it, what part did she play in your life in those moments as you're dreaming, you're taking risks when you have a wife and kids at home, and you're putting a lot on the line, and your wife is there supporting you, and then when you put it on the line and it fails,
Oof.
what happens?
So I'm going to tell you, I live by a couple of mantras that I came up with years ago. One is, in life, you got to lay it down to pick it up. If you're not willing to lay it down, you can never pick it up in life, in anything. If you don't have the courage to say, you know what, I want to try something, I want to do something, don't ever complain when someone has someone you don't or whatever.
Right.
Just live your life. Stay in your lane.
Yeah.
But you got to lay it down to pick it up in life. And when you have a partner that doesn't blink, and when I mean doesn't blink, it's like having a friend, right? Your best friend, someone that you can call at 3 a.m. and 2 in the afternoon, excuse my language, in the afternoon, that you can call that doesn't blink. Doesn't ask a question. The famous scene with Ben Affleck. We're going to do something, a couple things, blah, 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 some bad people. Whose car we taking? That's it. No questions, right?
Yeah.
That. So when you have that as your partner, that I have, that says, you know, we got to put 2 mortgages on the house. We got to put a 3rd mortgage. We got to borrow this. We got to figure it out. I got to take a shot to open this restaurant. And they go ahead. Do it. Don't worry about it. I can't come home tomorrow night. I can't go to the christening next week. I can't go to your sister's birthday next month. I can't go to this wedding because I got to be at the restaurant. 7 days a week, 7 nights. Right now, we can't go away.
Yeah.
And they go, what's the big deal? No problem. I'll go. I got it. Don't worry about it. I can't go to Nico's baseball game. I can't go to Marina's recital. It's a Saturday night. We got 400 people at the restaurant. If I'm not there,
That's right.
it ain't going to work. Go ahead. Never blinked. Never asked. Never said a word. Don't, nothing. Zero. Go ahead. Do what you got to do. Why? Because she knew at the end of the day, I was doing it to give them a better life.
Yeah.
And when you talk about failures, listen, I've had so many failures in life. And anyone that tells you any different, they're full of shit.
Yeah.
Because in life, without failures, you can never actually, I don't think, ever be successful without knowing what failure tastes like.
That's right. I've heard no way more than I've heard yes. People, because we, especially in social media, we put up our highlight reel. These are all the yeses I'm experiencing. Look at this sold out crowd. Look at this picture of me in front of a sold out crowd. Cheese. Well, you don't see that yesterday. I was only at 57% sold. You didn't see that picture. You know what I mean? It's the highlight reel. You see the yeses, but we hear so many no's. Tell me about one of your no's in life. Maybe something that shook you. And has there ever been a no that you were like, oh, I don't know if I could come back from this? Has there ever been a failure like that?
I've had plenty of failures in business, ideas that didn't work. Fortunate that I've always been able to rebound, and we built a great brand. In Boston's a great little city, and we built a great brand here. But there's been plenty of times when I've tried to do things that just didn't work out, but I just kept it moving. Yeah. I never look at failure as failure. I look at failure as, all right, what did we do wrong? What can I do better? And keep going. But I'm telling you something. At the end of the day, I believe in everything in life comes back to how you treat people. Yeah. It really is. Like, listen, there's so many recipes that people give you online today. You know, they want to give all this advice. They're all full of shit. Yep. Right? They 99% of just read something, especially now. They go on that Chat GPT and they come up with things that says. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Anybody could do that. But life is very simple. If you treat people with respect in the way you want to be treated, you're going to be all right. Meaning, if you don't screw anybody, if you're not full of shit, right? Because full of shit and talking out of your ass, it comes back. It's like makeup, right? Like, you are lucky, right? Because you're naturally beautiful. Well, thank you. Right, for the people that can't see it on camera. But there are some women that when they wake up, they look like me with long hair in the morning, right? But the night before, they looked unbelievable, right? But the makeup comes off, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah. The same way when you talk to people and they're full of shit, or they, you know, it comes off.
Yeah.
So be
It's not
yourself,
real.
be real,
Uh-huh.
right? And treat everybody the way you want to be treated, and you'll be all right.
I can attest to that's exactly how you are. What like you put out, you're an amazing person. I remember we were walking through the North End, and you walked us into every restaurant and coffee shop, and everyone, you gave a hug and a kiss. They came to you, gave you a hug and a kiss. You're walking into restaurants you don't even own, and you're back there in the kitchen just saying hi to everybody. Just go, you want a slice of pizza, serving yourself pizza at somebody else's restaurant. Just, you are so respected, and I think that's because of who you are. That's what you put out. When you go into all these different restaurants and everyone on the street knew who you were, they smile when they see you. You're asking about their mom. I remember watching you, and you're asking about, you knew their family members. Like, you can't fake that.
No, you can't fake that. There is no fake in there. But that comes back. That comes back to you. Listen, Anjelah, everybody is always going to be a little extra nicer to you because of the celebrity.
Yeah, of course.
It's facts.
Of course.
Right? Okay. But when you can make everybody feel special, right? I don't care what it is, who it is, what they look like, what they have, what they don't have. If you can make them feel special, guess what? You won. You did something good today. You don't need money to do good things. It helps. Don't get me wrong.
Sure,
Help
sure.
absolutely helps. But you don't need that. Sometimes with words, you can make somebody feel special. That's all it is.
I like to think I'm a words of affirmation type of person. I like to give compliments when I'm out and about. If I see a girl and she has a cute shirt on that I like, and if I think it in my head, I like to practice saying it out loud. So if I thought the thing, just go the extra step and say it to the person. I love your shirt, just as you're passing by. And they're just like, oh, thank you, you know? And there's even been times where I may not necessarily love the shirt, but I want to share love.
Yep.
And I'll just say, I love your shirt. And oh, thank you so much. I may not have loved it, but I made her feel good.
And you don't understand how powerful that is. You really don't. Maybe you do, but I know how powerful that is.
Yeah.
Believe me, I was 400 pounds legitimately almost my whole life, right? And if someone said to me when I was 400, oh, nigga, you look nice. I like that shirt on you. Yeah, I couldn't wait to wear it again.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I know they're full of shit. I'm 400 pounds. How good can I look? Right?
I'm gonna buy three more of this shirt.
But by them saying it, for those 5 minutes,
yeah.
You like my shirt. I
Hey.
pop my collar a little bit, pop the sleeve. Oh, this must be a nice shirt. Meanwhile, it's a tent.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It was a nice tent.
Yeah.
But you're so right. You just gave that person a smile for 10 seconds, 30 seconds. You made them feel good.
Yeah.
I wish everybody could be like that.
I know. Can you tell me about one of your first wins that really kind of set things off for you into a way that like changed your life?
It's a very good question. So, like I said, I've had many losses. I was in the car business. I had a used car lot. I gave everything away. I lost that. I was in the produce business, getting up at 3:30 in the morning. That didn't work out. Lost that. But success story, I have to go. When I opened up the original Strega, it blew up. I'm telling you, the next day, it was crazy. But a big one that absolutely changed my life was I get a call 2 years after I opened Strega by a developer. That now, people that know Boston, it's the Seaport. Okay. Most expensive real estate in all of Boston. It's become a city. By the developer who was like the godfather of the Seaport, a guy by the name of Joe Fallon. At the time, the mayor was a dear friend of mine, Mayor Thomas Menino, longest mayor ever in Boston. Wow. Italian-American, legend, one of the greatest guys you'll ever meet in your life. God rest his soul. Joe calls me and says, Nick, Mayor Menino calls me and says, Nick, my friend Joe's going to call you. Don't say no to him. Mm-hmm. I says, okay, man, I'm having an espresso. I'm at the coffee shop in the North End. Okay. Guy calls me. He says, meet me down the Seaport in 15 minutes. Yes, sir. I go down the Seaport, and it's all parking lots, empty space. This is 2008, 9. I mean, empty. Everything's empty. He says, I want you to put a restaurant here. I've been told by many people that when you do something, you go above and beyond, and you know how to make people feel special. And I need to create attention to this seaport area. I need to create a buzz. And they told me, you're the right guy to do it.
Wow.
So I look at it, and I says, wow, it's nice. I says, but no.
Oh, you said no?
Yeah,
He told you not to say no.
Right, but there were parking lots. I'm used to the North End where there's a million people walking around. And now he wants me to put a restaurant here in the middle of park. And he says, listen, this isn't going to look, this is going to be a city within a city that you can't imagine. So tell me where you want the restaurant on the water. I says, all right. One thing leads to another. We open up Strega waterfront.
Wow.
Well, the next day, went from a restaurant that does, let's say, 250 covers a night in the North End with 50 seats, but we would turn it 4 or 5 times, to a restaurant that would do 1,000 covers a night the next day. The next day. And it was the first restaurant open down what today people know as the Seaport, where you have some of the greatest restaurants in the world. You have Ocean Prime, you have Morton's, you have Del Frisco's, you have amazing restaurants.
Sure.
We had the first one, and we changed my world, because the next day, wow. I mean, we were known for throwing big parties. You know, I was lucky. You know, I had at the time, Jamie Foxx came to my grand opening. Mary J. Blige came to my grand opening. And in Boston, we don't have those celebrities, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, we have our athletes. And just the momentum and how viral it went before viral was even a word was insane. And that was the day that I went, wow, I could do this on another scale. I could do it. I got the recipe. My recipe is have great food, amazing, amazing help. The people that I hired probably, in my opinion, my humble opinion, were the best restaurant people I ever seen in my life, because they cared.
Yeah.
They really gave a shit.
Yeah.
Because I told them, I says, listen, here's the secret. Guys here on a date, I want him to get a kiss and a hug when he leaves, when she gets out of the car that night. Guys here in a business deal, he's got to get a signature on that paper. Because guess what? If we accomplish that and make them feel good, they're coming back.
Wow.
Don't say the word no.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear the word no, ever. Somebody wants something? Yes, no problem. Yeah, go ahead. Whatever it is. They don't have money to pay. Don't worry about it. Send them over something. Make them feel good.
Wow.
Because if you can do that, and I'm giving you the stage to perform, and I'm giving you the keys to say, you could do that. Make everybody feel like they're Anjelah Johnson.
Wow.
Guess what? Tomorrow night, you'll be packed again. And you're going to make 20, 25, 30% of my business with no headaches. Wow. Because we're going to make them feel so good, they're going to be embarrassed not to tip 25, 30%. And that's all yours.
Yeah.
But perform when you're here. And when I mean perform, anybody could be, you know, a server or what have you. You know, I serve tables, you know, whatever I had to do. But when you can really make somebody feel special, it's all over.
Yeah.
You can't help but be successful.
How long did you have your original Strega before you got asked to open the waterfront?
6 years.
Because to me, I'm listening to this story, and that's the only restaurant you had before you got asked to do that.
Strega waterfront. Then I opened up Nico, which is another small place on Hanover Street. Then.
So what I'm thinking is like the fact that you already had this reputation with your one restaurant, to where this developer was like, I need to work with him. I need him to be the guy who opens the restaurant here. It wasn't these other restaurant guys who have all these other restaurants.
No.
It was you with your one 50-person restaurant.
That's it, small.
That he was like, there's something. This I need in my properties.
Because I promised him I'd be there every night.
Wild.
Making everybody feel special.
And you did.
I'll make sure they come back.
That's wild. That's so cool. And that's like, so you have all these people coming in, then they're coming back, and everybody's getting to know you and seeing your face. And like you already mentioned, your wife, no questions asked, just, I can't be there. I got to be at the restaurant tonight. So I imagine you did miss out on some things.
I missed out on a lot of things.
Yeah.
I missed out on so many things. You know, again, kids' birthdays, kids' events, and school stuff, all that. I missed I'm embarrassed to say it, but I had to do what I had to do.
Right.
You know, in order to give them a better life. But I missed out. I made up for it later. Don't get me wrong. But I made up for it later. But yeah, I missed out on a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
the only thing I made sure I never missed out on was going to visit my mother 4 to 5 days every week.
Yeah.
I maybe missed 1 day a week not seeing my mother, but I talked to her 63 times a day, even when I had 12 restaurants.
Wow. Would she call you or you would call her?
How's that change? So I, you know, obviously I'm you know, very good looking, in shape, and charming almost. But my mother, even when I was 400 pounds, would say to me, she'd call me maybe 6 times a day. I heard you mangiaste. Che fai? Excuse me, in Italian. That means, son, did you eat? You sure you ate? I go, Ma, what are you talking about? Oh, I just seen you on TV. It looks like you didn't eat. I go, Ma, TV? I look like I'm 500 pounds on TV. Well, I just want to make sure you ate. Honest to God, every single, did you eat? I go, my own restaurants. What do you think? I didn't eat?
Yeah.
But
That's hilarious.
yeah, it's true.
Is there anything you would, thinking back, is there anything you would do differently? Is there anything, not regret, is there anything that you're like, if I would have done this, this would have this, and this would have that?
That could be the best 2020 question you could ask,
Right.
because I got a great answer for you. Sinatra said it best, right? Regrets, I've had a few.
Yeah.
But then again, too few to mention. But I actually have a few to mention.
Let's talk about it.
Well, here's a little story about. But yeah. So in the height of the Seaport, I had, obviously, we had the brand, we had the name. I could have had an opportunity to open up many more places down that Seaport, because I was the hot kid in town.
Yeah.
You know, everything was going great, and I didn't take advantage of that because I didn't want to spread myself too thin. But the opportunities that I could have had down, being the first one down the Seaport to open up, you know, maybe a Strega seafood,
Sure.
you know, Strega steak at the time,
Yeah.
whatever it may have been, I never took advantage of that. And it's a big regret, because now if you come to Boston, the Seaport is just, you know, it's amazing. It's a city within a city. The prices are through the roof for everything.
Yeah.
But obviously that, other than that, as far as regrets, not many, because I think everything in life, all your experiences, ups, downs, in every way, make you who you are.
That's right.
So did I screw up sometimes? Absolutely.
Sure.
Am I going to fuck up again? Absolutely. Am I going to make mistakes again? Of course.
Yeah.
Did I make a ton of mistakes? Absolutely. You know, if you could say any regrets, I wish I maybe took an extra night off to be there with my kids for something that I couldn't be there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Spend a little more time with my sisters if I could. But those are the only real regrets.
As I'm listening to you talk about your regrets, I started thinking about one that I had, thinking like business-wise. Because I'm listening to you talk like business-wise. Back in the day when my nail salon video first popped off, and it changed my life. I'm sitting here with you because of that video. That video changed my life. Well, at the time, I was like, I have to capitalize on this and come out with my own nail polish line. The beautiful nail polish line.
You would have been in every Target, Walmart, every beauty salon in the country.
Let me tell you, I remember bringing it to my business managers and I'm young. I'm 24, 25. I'm young. I don't know what I'm doing. So at this point, anybody who's like business adult helping me with finances, agents, managers, they're like mom and dad to me. It's like if mom and dad say no, that's no. You don't question. It's like no. I remember bringing it to my business manager at the time, and she was like, well, we have to get insurance because if somebody sues because your nail polish gave them an infection and blah, 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 you have to have insurance. And the insurance you need to get is like $10,000. And to make it worth it, you would have to buy at least, whatever exorbitant amount of product. it's not worth it. And I just listed, and I was like, it's not worth it.
You still have the same business manager?
No, well, it's not the company anymore.
Okay.
But yeah.
Absolutely, you would have been flying.
I know.
Flying, because
about
you became viral before that word became a thing, right? In every store, and knowing you wouldn't be boutique-y. You would have been in to make it affordable for everybody, every race, every nationality. You would have been in Walmart, Target. You would have been all over the world within a year or 2 years. See, if you knew me back then,
I know.
I would have gave you the 10,000, right? Guess what? We would have had nail polish everywhere.
Beautiful Nail by Nick Varano.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you get a beautiful meatball on the side.
Yeah, that's right. No, that's the red color.
That's perfect.
The red
marinara sauce.
Nick's meatball color.
Yeah,
I like it.
The red is called sauce, or
Yes.
Yeah. Dang it!
Absolutely.
That's my regret. That's my big regret. I hate it.
I'm like, is it too late? 17 years later?
I know.
To jump
like
on
the
it?
heat is gone. It's just. I
On
mean,
to
I
the
can
next
still
one
do
now.
it.
But
Yeah.
that was if you came up with that
I know.
idea at the time and presented to them,
I know. What a dumb.
they screwed up.
Yeah.
You know, no offense to whoever the business
And I
was.
screwed
I'm
up
sure she
listening.
was amazing, but that was a big screw up.
Do you have a mentor?
I have a couple
And
mentors.
did you as you started in your business, opening restaurant? Did you have a mentor? Tell me about that.
Yes. So growing up in the neighborhood, again, uneducated, quit school, thought maybe the wrong way was the right way for a short term in my life. Coming up in the neighborhood, I had a lot of people that I looked up to. Street guys that were just neighborhood guys that were good guys that I thought, wow, look how they carry themselves. Unbelievable. I looked up to a few of those guys. Once I got into the business world and then opening my first restaurant, I have a dear friend that's like a brother to me. His name's Frank DiPasquale. He had a restaurant called Il Panino. And I went to him for advice before I opened the first restaurant to help me with the menu and any ideas. And he was nice enough and genuine enough to help me with it. And I always looked up to him. I wanted to be something like him because he was so passionate and he cared a lot about the product and bringing the Italian culture here from Italy. That we became like brothers and then business partners later. But he's somebody I always looked up to in business. But if I could tell you if there was one person that I wanted to be like more than anybody else in life, it'd be my mother. That's it. My mother didn't know the word no. She didn't know what to do for others and people that had less. And she had nothing. Yeah. But she didn't know. I know people say it and they mean it, but she didn't know what to do for anybody, whether you were the neighbor down the street, the lady downstairs, the lady upstairs. She had nothing. She'd come over with a bag of anything. Whatever she could do, she taught me. She goes, I hear you. Don't worry about Kikaito. It was do for others. Don't worry what you have.
Wow.
You understand?
Wow.
And everybody loved my mother. Not because she could give him anything, because she had nothing to give. Yeah. But when you talk to him, and I'm so friggin' lucky that both my kids got to meet her before she passed away. Because Nico and Marina took after her.
Wow.
Oh, my God. You have no idea. I can't even talk about my mother. See, sorry, I get all choked up. But they took after her. They seen how she was, and they have all her traits.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. You talk about getting lucky?
That's special.
Oh, yeah.
How old were they when she passed?
2009, so Marina would have been, I cannot go to math, 13 and 15.
So they got some good years with
Oh,
her.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They were up the house every day. They would go see my mother
Oh, that's so special.
almost every day.
That's really special.
I wish my daughter learned how to cook from her, but
Tell me, okay, you were saying your daughter started a organization. Tell me about the thing she started.
so they both have, what do they say, entrepreneurship in them?
Yeah.
My daughter went to USD in San Diego for college. My son went to Boston College at the business school of BC. and they both got that entrepreneurship type in
Yeah.
them. So I'll start with my son first. My son came out of college, got into banking, then into private equity,
Wow.
and then he wanted to try his luck at retail. So he's amazing at building these amazing decks for companies that buy other companies,
Okay.
and he is just so smart.
Yeah.
So he started something called Sweat House, and he says, "Dad, I did good the last few years out of college. I want to try this concept where it's infrared saunas and cold plunge pools, where you go in, beautiful boutique type setting, you get your own studio for an hour." And he became the first franchisee of this company that he worked on building the deck originally for the founder.
Oh,
He took a liking to my son, and he made him his first franchisee partner. And my son, since then, has opened 5. He's on the verge of
Wow.
opening up another 5, and he just is in the process of doing all of New York with these
No
sweat
way.
houses. Yeah, and he has 5 studios. There's, I believe right now, there's 50 some in the country, and he has number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 6 in the country.
Stop.
He works from
Wow.
5:30 in the morning till 2 in the morning.
He got his dad's.
No, I know he works much harder than me and much smarter than me. I got lucky. He's a workaholic. But going to my daughter now, my daughter Marina, after coming out of school, got the acting bug. When she was young, I brought her to the Grammys a few times because when they were 13, I said 1 week in the year you get to pick 3 days, no phone for me, no phone for you. We go somewhere 3 days, not your mother, just me and you.
Wow.
No, nothing. So my son chose NBA All-Star Weekend for
Oh,
his
fun.
3 days.
Cute.
And my daughter said, "Dad, I want to go to the Grammys." How the hell am I going to get tickets to the freaking Grammys? Want to go to a movie or something? She goes, "Dad, no, I want to go to the Grammys. I want to see, who was the girl at the time? I forget." Anyway, so I got lucky through friends and networking, and we went to the Grammys for like 11 straight years.
No
Just me
way.
and my daughter. Yeah.
How
Yeah,
cool.
if you need tickets, I got you.
Yeah. Thank
anyway.
you.
So she goes to LA, and she says, "Dad, you know what I want to do? I want to start something. Because in my restaurant, I had a sign that lit up in red neon lights. Always be grateful. Because my mother always said, I heed you. When you got something, you can help somebody, give it to them. Be grateful that you have it to give, not that you have.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what you have." And she always, "I heed you, sempre ringraziato." Always be grateful. And I made a sign in my restaurant strip at the time, always be grateful. So my daughter called me one day, "Hey, Dad, when you coming out to LA?" I said, "I'll be there Friday." "All right." We go for breakfast. She goes, "I want to do something. I want to start a company. I want to call it Always Be Grateful." I said, "What is it?" "ABG. What is it for what?" He goes, "But I want to give all the money that comes in from this company, I want to give it to help abused women and women's charities for people that have less." Man, care.
Wow.
So here I am, 400 pounds. At the time, 40-something years old. The tears are coming down my face. That my kid is telling me she wants to do this.
Yeah.
For nothing. Anyway, and she's done amazing things. And since then, she got into real estate out in California. She got a real estate license in LA. She has a real estate license here in Massachusetts now.
Wow.
She just moved back.
I was gonna say, where is she living now?
She's just moved back to Boston.
Okay.
So I have both my kids here in Boston.
Nice.
My son got married last year. He built a house in
Congrats.
Florida. He's a beautiful wife. Her name's Gabby.
Wow.
She's amazing. And that's it. Life is good.
Yeah. So, you and your wife are empty nesters.
Yes.
How's she been enjoying that?
I don't think she likes it.
Really?
No, I'm joking. No, it's been great. But in my house, it's never empty nesting because they're always home.
Yeah.
They're
everybody-
always home.
Uh-huh.
Last night, my son slept. Every
Yeah.
night
Yeah.
they're home.
Yeah.
So it's not like
That's the thing when you grow up with family like that, because I
We're
also
always
grew up
together.
very close to my family.
Yep.
Cousins, my siblings, everything. Like when my sister comes to visit, a lot of times my husband will go sleep on the couch and my sister will sleep with me.
Yeah.
Like that's
it.
that's how close we are.
Absolutely.
And even my nephew, like we all sleep together. Me, my nephew, my sister, my husband's out there on the couch. I got brothers out here on an air mattress. Like everybody, like a hotel. Are you kidding me? Absolutely not. We'll make it work.
We'll make it work. Get on the couch. Shut up.
Yeah.
Sit there. Relax. Don't make a big deal. You know what I mean?
That's what I would probably be like your wife too. Not really enjoy the empty nesting part. Like I would want everybody to be there. And that's how my husband and I always had a big house, and it was just us two before we had Rosie. Just me and my husband. And why did we need such a big house? I'm like, well, because my family's gonna come over and visit.
Yep.
And he's like, well, we need a big house just for when they come visit.
Yes.
How often are they gonna come visit? A lot. They will be here often. Pretend they live here.
Yep.
Okay, that's what this house is for. Because I grew up with a lot of family. My husband did not. He grew up military, and he only has one brother and a sister. He never met his grandparents, aunts, and uncles. It was just the four of them.
So it must have been weird at first for him, but once he sees the love, and even some of the arguing and some of the bullshit that goes behind the curtain, wow, it must have been special.
Let me tell you, being honest, it took a while for us to like come to terms because I didn't understand that he didn't understand how family worked. So he would like, it would be holiday, Christmas, and he's like, I'm gonna go watch a movie. And I'm like, oh, what, excuse me? Like, there's 50 of my family members here at my aunt's house, and we're all here and we're hanging out and we're about to do the white elephant game. What do you mean you're going to go to a movie? Like, he's not used to it, and it would kind of
probably took him time.
Give him like anxiety a little bit being around all these people. But I didn't understand that. I was thinking like he was just being rude.
Yep.
But he just really couldn't handle it. And then I would get upset that he wouldn't remember my family members' names. And he's like, there's 50 of them. And I'm like, yeah, but you got to work on it.
Yeah, at least I would like 10 or 15 and work it
yeah,
out.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then he started remembering people's names. I appreciated that. But we definitely didn't see eye to eye on the family thing. I remember the first time he had a Thanksgiving dinner was when I put it together.
Really?
Yeah, so we were already married. We were at his parents' house in Florida when they used to live in Florida. And, you know, they had the fancy living room with the fancy dining table that they never, ever, ever used. And so this was their first time. And we sat around and we did a Thanksgiving dinner. That was their first time doing Thanksgiving dinner.
Wow.
Because he didn't do family like that.
He didn't have the family like that. Yeah, of course.
So I get that. My husband probably would not. He would be like, no, I'm good. Just us is fine.
Although I was like, now you got everybody moving into the neighborhood. So,
yeah.
You're taking over.
Now I have my in-laws moving to the house right next door to us.
Yep.
And now my mom and my stepdad are getting ready to move because we moved to Nashville. Okay. And so I have my in-laws next door. My mom and my stepdad are going to be moving there. I'm trying to get everybody. I'm like, everybody come back. You've never been to Nashville?
Never been to Nashville.
Oh, you got to go. Oh, my God. Strega, Nashville. Stop.
Let's do it. Oh. It'll be bigger than the nail polish.
Yeah. We don't want to regret this.
Yeah, exactly. Hey. Yeah, we don't want to regret this. We talked about it here today.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. So we kind of skipped ahead of this part, but on this podcast, we do our MADtitude and our gratitude. Our MADtitude is the thing that makes us mad. What gets on your nerves? What gives you a bad attitude, which I call a MADtitude? Yep. What is that thing that just ruffles your feathers, that gets you like, oh?
So a couple things.
Give them to me.
And I don't even have to think about it. One, when people don't show respect or mistreat people that came before them. Like older people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I'm a guy, I go see my uncle twice a week, 89 years old, just to play cards with him for $1 a game.
Oh.
Right? Drive an hour and a half.
No way.
Just to play cards with him. And I get so much knowledge in talking to him, 89 years old. People that came before me, even in the neighborhood, that people might go, yeah, what does he know? He's 80 years old. Like, when someone puts down someone that's older because they think, I know better, I'm smarter, they forget. Nothing burns my ass more. You tell me what gets me aggravated? Disrespect somebody older, right? And you're gonna feel my wrath. You're gonna feel like, because they came before you. What they forgot, you'll never know, you dummy.
Yeah.
Right? So respect them.
Yeah.
You know, that is something that's absolutely, I don't like that. The second thing, believe it or not, is people that should have common sense that don't use common sense.
Okay.
Common sense is the number one ingredient in life, right? When you make a meatball, you need good meat, you need breadcrumb, you need seasoning, right? Okay. In life, you need common sense. I don't give a shit about Harvard education, Yale education, the best schools in the world, or grew up with money or no money. Common sense. And when people don't show common sense or courteous, right? You don't understand. I want to scream.
Yeah.
Common sense is a lost part of a recipe for a lot of people. They don't understand. You got to add salt.
Yeah. You
just got to add common sense and you figured it out.
Yeah.
But you're trying to do it in a way because you think you're overthinking it. Just common sense.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know? That's it. It's really not. That's it. Those are the two things. What about you?
I think my husband would relate to you on that one because there's a lot of times where he gets so frustrated with me if I can't figure something out like so easily. And he'll be the first to say, he'll be like, a lot of times our arguments are me being mad that she's not me, that she's not thinking like me, right? But there's times where I see him get frustrated with me because if I didn't do something that to him, he thought it was common sense. Well, yeah, you just do this and this. And I'm like, I don't know. I've never done this before. I don't know how to do it.
Right.
And then he'll be like, yeah, but it's easy. I'm like, no, it's easy to you.
You've done it.
You've done it. You're a professional in this. You know technology. That's the biggest thing is I'm like, okay, how do I do the download the blah, blah, blah? And he'll be like, babe, you push download. It's right here. And I'm like, yeah, but is it this download or this download? Right. Like, anyway, I think my husband would really relate to you on that. These days, let's see, my attitude these days, I would say allergies, dumb. Allergies are getting on my nerves right now, especially because, like, I'll be on stage and I talk for a living. And everything that I say on stage, there's a rhythm to it. I know when I need to take a breath. I know when I need to swallow my own saliva. I know how to hold it, and when it's automatic. It just happens. When I have allergies, and now I have to pause when I typically would say something because I have post-nasal drip, and I'm like, and then I say something. Oh, it's pissing me off right now. That's what's making me mad is my allergies.
And it actually throws you off?
Oh, yeah. Because here's the thing. Now, this is going to be real gross. Everybody, this is gross. This is gross, but I'm just going to say it.
Warning.
Okay?
What?
I'll be on stage, and sometimes I'll go to swallow, right? I'm like, oh, my gosh, I feel that post-nasal drip, and I go to swallow, but it won't swallow.
Ew.
And I'm like halfway in a swallow, but I need to say my next word. I'm like, wait, I either got to let it go or swallow it. Pick one, body. Do it. That's what's happening right now.
And you're like,
do you ever let it go on stage, or you just swallow it all the time?
No.
I was like, are you like choking on stage and I'm unaware? Like, what's going on?
Like, I'm trying to like swallow, and I'm like, it's not going down. It's not. I gotta just okay.
Oh, and then it kind of makes you sound
kind
of
like you
like
got
you're underwater.
Or, yeah, something. So I'm like, ugh. That's what I'm dealing with right now is my allergies. So
I know, because it's spring and it's so beautiful.
Yes.
But then that also means blooms.
Yeah.
So I remember I was one of the first people that I may get slack for this. In my house, I never understood growing up with my mother, like when people started becoming allergic to everything. Right?
Peanuts.
I can't have nuts. I can't have seafood. I can't have pasta. I can't have flour. I can't have it. And I go, talk, just eat the thing, shut up. Right?
Honestly,
come on,
I agree.
Much. And I'm in the restaurant business. I remember 20 years ago, the first time somebody come in, oh no, I need gluten-free pasta. Well, bye-bye. You're not going to get over here. You know what I mean? Because it tastes like shit.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
It's garbage.
It's like rubber.
You have the salmon.
This is 20 years ago. And the thing that made me understand a little bit about allergy was one time at dinner with my family, my wife, my two kids, and Marina started choking on something. And I'm like, come on, stop choking. Like, come on, don't make a big deal. I swear to God, I don't believe in choking. Like, shut up, swallow it.
Why is your eye getting puffy? Unpuff it.
And you know what it was? Come to find out, all of a sudden, out of the clear blue, she got a nut allergy. She was eating Reese cups like they were M&Ms.
No
right?
way.
One day we're at dinner, We had to rush her to the hospital.
No
Yeah,
way.
they did the thing, the test.
Little test.
She was allergic to nuts. I go, what are you talking about? Stop it. Shut up. I told the doctor, he goes, no, she has a nut allergy. I go, listen to me. You got to stop with these allergies. You're making people crazy. Like, we never had allergies till like 1987, 88. Right? Like, no one had an allergy.
Yeah.
Where did they come from? Why does she have a nut allergy? We eat nuts every day. She eats Reese cups like the M&Ms. How does she have a nut allergy? It just happens. Yeah. That was the thing. They go, wow, this thing's real.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is a real thing.
Does she still have it? Did she
She
grow
had
out
nut
of
allergy, just nut allergy,
Yeah. So she can't eat no more Reese cups.
I have heard of that though happening, like where you
And
just
it happened when she
discover
was,
it
like,
later.
16, 17.
Yeah.
Luckily, I got no how I eat anything. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, please.
So, obviously, you're amazing at what you do.
Thank you.
You make a lot of people happy, smile, and laugh. Who, in your opinion, is on the Mount Rushmore of stand-up comedy? Only got 4.
Wow.
So take a breath.
Shoot.
Swallow that saliva.
Yeah.
Stop choking. Right? You can't
Oh my
put yourself
gosh.
on the list. You got 4 on the Mount Rushmore all-time stand-up comedians.
Wow. You would think I
You
automatically
already have
just
that answer.
know this?
Yeah, you should.
I should.
Yeah,
I
you
really
should. This is actually embarrassing to take.
This
you on.
is embarrassing.
Yeah, I don't want
Cut
to throw
this
your
part
shit out
out.
there, but
Call yourself a comedian.
who's on your
please.
Mount Rushmore?
Okay. So my go-to people that I always name as like who inspired me to get started in stand-up comedy. I guess this would be my Mount Rushmore, even though today I there's other people that I respect. I'm like, oh my gosh, this person's killing
Are you
it.
trying to buy
crushing it,
time
whatever.
right now?
No.
Yeah,
These are my
yeah.
Okay,
people.
go ahead.
These are my people. Ellen DeGeneres,
Okay.
George Lopez,
Okay.
Brian Regan,
Okay.
and
You got to think because you only got one more.
I know.
You don't want to leave
but
somebody out.
those are my 3 that I would always mention when I started
Yep.
stand up.
That's who you looked up
Those
to and
those
said,
are
wow.
I loved watching Ellen DeGeneres and her storytelling, and I watched how she would just be talking and you didn't realize that all of a sudden you were in her act. Like she was already like 11 minutes into her act. You didn't realize it
Now
because
you're
she
in
was
it.
just telling stories, and you're like, oh, like that we're in it already. I loved that about her. Brian Regan, how he's so goofy and silly and fun. I loved that about him. George Lopez, because I could see myself in his stories. He was talking about my family when he
Right.
would talk about his family, so I loved them. Those were my 3. But if I was gonna pick a 4, oh my gosh, man, I have to reserve it to think it through.
I'll give you 30 seconds.
Oh my God, 30 seconds only? Okay.
Yeah, I can see it. I'm counting right here.
Oh my gosh.
Got it?
Okay.
You got one more. Tick.
Okay. So
Tick.
if I go, there's Mitch Hedberg. Just so.
But you didn't add him yet. You said
no,
theirs.
no,
There-
no.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
still
Yeah,
processing.
yeah.
There's Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah, it's been 20 seconds.
You're looking at the
20
menu.
already?
You're looking at
Yeah.
the menu right now. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh. Okay. There's Kevin Hart. There's Joe
5.
Coy. There's my friends that I.
Yep.
3,
All of. Okay.
2,
1.
1. It's been 30 seconds. Don't call me a producer for nothing.
I'm gonna say my friend Joe Coy.
Joe Coy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love him.
I'm going to say Joe Coy. I didn't really have a stand-up mentor,
Mm-hmm.
but Joe was a good friend of mine when I was first headlining and doing really well.
Okay.
And he's somebody that I would call and ask about like contracts, payments, and things like that. And I have other comic friends that I would now reach out to. Eliza Schlesinger, I call her a lot and ask, hey, what would you do in this situation? I have other comedian friends, but I remember Joe was definitely somebody that I would call and say, hey, how would you handle this type of
I love
situation?
that he answered the call and helped you out. I love
Oh,
that.
yeah. And just watching his career, he works so hard. And when you talk about generous, this guy, I remember he would just like give his merch out to whoever wanted something. He's just giving his merch out to everybody. He's so generous with everything that he has with his family. And just watching his career, how hard he worked from the tiny clubs to the bigger clubs to now crushing these arenas, I would put him up there.
I love that.
Yeah.
So And I got to ask you a few questions because I'm
Thank you.
I'm interested in.
Please, this is exciting.
I love entertainment, and I'm not about comedy. So, I think the worst thing in life that people have sometimes is false hope. False hope is the worst thing you can have in life. Right? You know, if someone thinks they can beat me because I look like this in basketball, they have false hope. Because I'm chunky, but I'm funky. But Nick Varano can play basketball. You know what I mean? So false hope is something that a lot of people have. But when you were coming up, and you started, I'm sure you did the circuit, right? You did the Comedy Store, little places here and there. How nervous and how scared were you of failing? Obviously, you dreamt of success, right? And then you caught lightning in a bottle.
Yep.
Right? So you dream of being successful, being up there. I want to be the next Ellen DeGeneres. I want to be like Regan. I want to be like Coy. I want to be like George Lopez, right? I want to be the female version. How many times did you really shit your pants, though? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and say, holy shit, I'm scared. I'm nervous. I'm getting anxiety over this. Maybe I can't do it.
Yeah.
How the hell can I? Maybe I could do it after 5-6 minutes, but then if I don't get a laugh on something, shit, I got to stop. Right?
Yeah.
Give me the 1 or 2 times, right? Because I'm sure there was plenty of time that happened to you and you said, wait, did I make a mistake? What am I doing?
Yeah. Well, interestingly, I did not want to be a comedian. And this was something that ended up catching fire for me, where I didn't chase comedy. I felt like comedy chased me because I was trying to be an actress. So I would say I was more nervous about failing in acting than in stand-up comedy, because stand-up was something that just came so naturally. I wasn't even trying. It was just happening and happening and growing and growing. Not that I wasn't trying. I was still writing and doing good material, but I wasn't trying to be the #1 comic. I was trying to be an actress. So I would say there was moments where in my acting career that I was like, did I mess up? Why am I here? And the first one is in 2007. I started as an extra on the show Friends. And then I was a stand-in on another show. And then I didn't have any jobs. And now I'm on unemployment. My unemployment check ran out. I have no agent getting me auditions to do anything. So at this point, I have no opportunities coming my way. I have nothing in my life saying, hey, you're on the right path. Keep going. I have everything saying you tried, but it's time to go back home. I'm trying to pack it up and go home.
That's scary.
So the only reason why I stayed is because my sister, who was like my champion in life, was sending me money to pay my rent. She was sending me gift certificates to the grocery store. She believed in me more than I believed in myself at that time. She was like, no, don't give up. Don't give up. You could do it. So she was funding that for me, as well as other people would send me money too. Like, I remember my mom, my dad, even my little brothers at some point would send me like $40 or something. Like, I remember a lot of people would help me continue on. So at this time, I was like, well, I have nothing going on. I should pack it up and go home. My sister's still funding it. And then all of a sudden, this nail salon video popped off. Changed my whole life. Out of nowhere. Then I start getting phone calls from network executives at ABC, CBS, NBC. Everybody wants me to come and audition for this show, that show, whatever. I end up getting an agent, a manager. I end up getting an audition for MADtv, and I book MADtv. And
that was it.
That's the year that changed my life, down. 2007.
That's all it takes.
So in those moments, it was like, did I mess up? This is dumb. Maybe this was, I just came here to be the extra, do that thing. I got my little fix. I got to see what movie magic is like. I got to see how TV cameras work and lights. And I got to meet a couple celebrities and woo, woo, woo. Like, maybe that was it. It was just a fun little thing I got to do. Now it's time to go home. Then once 2007 happened, that was the year that changed my life. It was like, oh, okay. And I'm doing so well in stand-up, and I'm enjoying my stand-up career. And I get to act every now and then. But in my mind, when I moved to Hollywood, I thought it was going to be the other way around. I thought the way my stand-up career is flourishing, I thought that's what I was going to be doing in acting. Right. but it's not. It's in stand-up. So it was a lot of reminding myself of grow where you're planted. This is where I've been planted. This is where I'm blooming. So this is where I'm going to start investing. And that's what I did.
Got it. Well, I think you're amazing at comedy. I think you're an amazing actress. I think you're a better person than both those things, human being wise.
Thank you.
But the entertainment bug is something that when it catches you, it's hard to let go of.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
So was there a time when you says, you know what? I wasn't meant to be an actress.
Yeah. 2020 COVID, when everything shut down. I was like, I think I'm okay. If I never act again, I think I'm done. I think that's fine.
I'm good.
Yeah. I'm good. It is. And that's when I decided to have Rosie. And I was like, maybe I should have had a kid. Because I thought this entertainment career was so fulfilling that it was going to just be my driving force in life. And then when it all went away during COVID 2020, I was okay and I didn't need it. And I was like, oh, I guess it's not as fulfilling as I thought. Maybe I should have had a kid. And that's when I switched my focus and I was like, I think I want to have a kid.
By the way, Rosie is the most amazing name in the world. You know why?
Is that your mom's name?
My mother's name was Rosetta.
Oh.
Rosetta. That's amazing.
That's
You're going to make me cry again.
Oh.
By the way, do you know you're sitting here right now with a Oscar award-winning actor?
What?
I don't want to get into it now. Stop
Get out of here.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Actually, 2-time Oscar award-winning actor.
What do you mean?
No, listen, I don't want to talk about it, but I will.
Go on.
I did a movie twice in Boston, filmed in Boston, by accident.
What?
Both times. In both times, the movie won Movie of the Year. Movie of the Year. Oscar Movie of the Year. Wait, and I'm going to tell you the movie. Relax. Catch your breath there.
She's already Googling.
Producer. No. Yeah. You can actually Google the scene in a minute. Yeah. But why I'm only a one-time Oscar award-winning, even though I was in 2 movies, was because one, you know, one of those Oscars they give out like before the pre-shows?
Oh, yeah.
It's like a small Oscar. The movie not only won Movie of the Year, right? But I won't take credit for that one.
Sure.
But it won Best Ensemble Cast. Hello.
SAG,
I
ensemble.
got my $83 for being in that movie.
There you go.
Right? So it was just a few of us. I mean, nobody, me, Christian Bale, nobody else.
Yeah.
Jeremy Renner,
Couple
Amy
newcomers.
Adams, Jennifer Lawrence, Robert De Niro. I mean, it was nothing. Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
It was a movie that was filmed in Boston, American Hustle.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, I know this
done
movie.
by David O. Russell.
Wow.
Done in Boston, the entire thing. And one day I get a call from David. He had come into the restaurant. And my dear friend is the president of the Teamsters Union here.
Okay.
So he calls me. He says, hey, I got a meeting with David. Come down to the restaurant. It was a Sunday night. So I says, no, I just put on Sunday Night Football. I just ordered $83 worth of Chinese food by myself. I'm staying home. It's cold out. I ain't coming out. He goes, will you get down to the restaurant? This is Strega Waterfront. So I want you to introduce you to David Russell. He just had finished Silver Playbook Lining, that one movie or something, right?
Yeah.
He says, come meet this guy. I put on a sweatsuit. I run down to the restaurant. David, how are you? Nice to meet you. I do my whole thing. David, anything you need in Boston, if you need milk for your cereal at 3 in the morning, here's my number. Call me. I want you to know the next night he calls me. Nick, any chance I'm staying here at this hotel? Can you bring me this and send me that? No problem, David. It'll be there in 20 minutes. The next night again, David, it'll be there in 2 minutes. All right, don't worry, David. Stop freaking bothering me. But no problem. The guy was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So one day he calls me on a Tuesday. He says, Nick, can you come by the set? I want you to meet some people. I says, yeah, all right. You need me to bring anything? Right? Because, I mean, he broke my balls every night.
Yeah.
He goes, no, just come by. So I go on this set. I don't know how movies work.
Yeah.
I don't know that they do nothing for 12 hours and then do something for a minute.
Yes,
and then do nothing for 12 hours. It's like, holy shit, this is boring.
Yeah.
So I go on set. He takes me in the room. And in that room was Christian Bale, Amy Adams, Jennifer Lawrence, Bradley Cooper, and Robert De Niro. They were shooting the scene of Atlantic City in the movie American Hustle. Back to the scene. So at the time, I'm a stereotypical Italian kid. You know, Robert De Niro to us, him and Al Pacino, man, that's all right. Forget it. It was better than looking at a Playboy when you're 16. Being in front of them. So there's De Niro, and David says, Bob, so I could call him Bob now because I was in a movie with him. You can't. But Bob, he goes, I want to introduce you to a friend of ours, Nick Varano. He plays your movies in the restaurant. He wanted to come say hello. Well, twice in my lifetime, this right leg couldn't stop shaking. Once I was 15 and a half. I don't want to talk about that, obviously, on camera, right? That the right leg, the nerves, like won't stop shaking. I'm like, stop. Hello, don't embarrass yourself. The second was when Robert De Niro turned around and says, Nick, nice to meet you. Man. So he says, nice to meet you. You got restaurants? He says, Nick, you know what? I've been craving some cheese, fresh cheese. Out of the clear blue, he says this. I said, David, can I grab my phone? 10 minutes later, I called the girl in my office, Fruity. I go, Fruity, do me a favor. Bring 40, 50 pounds of different cheese. Hurry up to this set. Half hour later, 50 pounds of cheese show up, all different mozzarella, scamozza, provolone, parmigiano. I said, Mr. De Niro, at the time I couldn't call him Bob. I said, Mr. De Niro, I says, the cheese is in your locker, whatever it is, whatever you guys have. What do you have?
The green room, the dressing room, the trailer.
Trailer. Yeah.
He says, he goes, what? I says, you got some cheese. He goes into the dress room. He says, there's cheese in there for 600 people. I said, well, I don't know. Give it to the other people. He goes, but you asked for it. They didn't ask for it, but give it to them. Let's share it. Anyway, he says, that's crazy. He goes, hey, what are you doing for the next 4 or 5 hours? So I go, no, nothing. So why? He goes, David, put him in the movie as my bodyguard. Man.
Stop.
Stop it, Angel. Come on, friends.
Stop.
De Niro, stop. Will you please, MADtv?
Out of here.
So anyway, there's this scene that they're shooting back there. I'm in a suit. Makes me his bodyguard. I pick up somebody in the thing. Anyway, that movie ends up winning the Academy Award and Best Ensemble Cast. So when I hear this on TV that night, I tell my kids, I says, you realize now that you're going to have to, get to somebody to get to me. Don't bother me. I'm an Oscar Award-winning actor, not just a father no more. You know what I mean?
Can we see you in the movie?
Absolutely.
No way.
Yeah, it's a one back. So De Niro why he called me for that Tuesday was because the scene that De Niro shot, he only came in for 1 full day and shot 3 scenes in 1 day, and that's the day I went down.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing. Don't worry about it.
That's incredible.
No, you don't have to pay me.
Were you nervous, when they were all right, action? Were you
Yeah.
What were you feeling?
What am I feeling?
Yeah.
I sell meatballs for a living. I'm next to De Niro, Christian Bale, who, by the way, unbelievable. He didn't even say hello. I got to say, but he didn't, get out of character. I never seen nothing like it. Legitimately, scenes cut, boom. But Bradley Cooper, Amy, Jennifer, they were all unbelievable. Yeah, Here I am, this little meatball on set, right? It was really incredible.
Wow. What a story.
It's amazing.
All right, all from selling a meatball and a chicken cutlet and making people feel good.
Yeah.
Imagine if you wouldn't have put that sweatsuit on that night and left your
I wasn't
Chinese
going
food.
down.
I know.
No, that Chinese food is good cold, so I ate it when I got back home. But yeah, I was aggravated at the time. And David was amazing.
Incredible. That's what was the other movie? You said you were in another one.
Yeah.
So when they did the Whitey Bulger story with Jack Nicholson, Leonardo DiCaprio, and all that, Black Mass, they shot it. Do you know the movie I'm talking? Not Black Mass.
No.
Black Mass was with Johnny Depp. Why am I drawing a blank? The Departed.
Yes. yes.
So The Departed. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Jack Nicholson was obviously based on Whitey Bulger and the FBI agents and all that. Again, my friend calls me, come down on set. Scorsese's here, right? This one's here. Come say hello. I'm gonna have them all come to your restaurant later. Man, all right. I come down the set.
And this is after the movie.
I think this was before The Departed.
Okay, this was
first.
Okay.
So I go down. I say hi to everybody.
Yeah.
He nice enough to make a big deal about me,
My
friend, to introduce me to them.
Yeah.
And then obviously I invite everybody for dinner and all that stuff. So they says, you want to be in the movie? I says, no, I'm not an actor. I says, I act in my neighborhood my whole life. I've been acting. I says, but come on, it'll be fun. and they put me like behind, like near a train station somewhere.
Uh-huh.
But again,
Yeah.
the movie won movie of the year, the Oscar, The
Uh-huh.
Departed. Google it. So what I'm telling everybody out there in LA and in Hollywood, if you got a movie and you want it to win awards, right here, I'm your guy.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
The missing ingredient.
That's it. I'll bring the meatballs and you get an Oscar.
It's easy math. You're right there.
Whatever it is.
That's. I wish it was
factual.
that easy. I wish I mean, I need to do
Well,
that.
maybe I'm that good luck.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
It could be.
I think we should do an independent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's it. And I'll just bring the meatball, put me behind in a set somewhere in the corner. And there's a
what's
good
the
shot.
storyline of this movie? We're not quite settled on that yet, but we do have the secret ingredient.
Right. We got a guy at the Oscars.
Yeah.
We got a guy.
We got a guy. We know a guy.
That's incredible. Now, before we wrap it up, we listened to a voicemail message from somebody who listens to the podcast, and they call in and they either give us their gratitude or their matitude.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they give it both. But Danielle usually picks a voicemail for us to listen to.
Yes. And I have to play it from my laptop, so I have it as loud as I can.
Okay.
But listen closely. And here's the phone number.
Oh, yeah. Here's the phone number for anybody who's listening and watching and you want to call in and tell us what you're grateful for.
747-300-5380. Give us a call. Ooh, yeah.
Look at that.
That's strong.
Real strong.
That's strong.
Okay.
Okay.
This is strong, too.
Good morning. My name is Joe Cino, C-I-N-O. I'm grateful for my son and my daughter-in-law for letting me take my grandson to get his suit for his first Holy Communion next month. Did it all by myself, and I was very lucky that he trusted me to do this important thing. Thank you.
I love that he's so proud that I did it all by myself.
I know. That's what I loved about it.
You have grandkids?
That's what I love.
No kids yet. My kids have no kids yet.
Okay.
But I tell you, big shout out to that gentleman, because for us growing up, Italian Catholic in this neighborhood, Holy Communion was a big deal.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
I remember putting on that suit, and my grandfather at the time, Nagala, who I'm named after, is the one that had a tailor in the neighborhood make me my suit. And at the time, I don't know if your audience knows, there was a show on TV called Fantasy Island, right?
Yes.
Mr. Rourke.
There's another
And-
Fantasy Island now, but it's
No,
different.
this
Yeah.
this was
the original.
this was with Mr. Rourke and Tattoo.
Yeah.
And I looked like Tattoo because I was about a foot and a half tall.
Uh-huh.
And the white little suit, and I was about 190 pounds in the second grade, right? And I looked like Tattoo. But I remember how proud I was that my grandfather took me to get that suit, and he had it made for me. So big shout out to that guy, because that is son he should be very proud of.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you for calling in. And thank you for coming and being on my podcast and sharing a little bit more about your story and what you're grateful for. You have so many great stories. I'm so grateful that I got to meet you all those years ago back in the green room and just stay connected with you all these years. You're such a genuine human being, and I'm grateful for you being on this podcast. Thank you so much.
Ange, first of all, after today, lose my number if you can.
You're
Please
so
stop
stupid.
bothering me. Stop with these calls. Come on. I've done enough. That's it. Now, come on. I did this podcast. That's it. No.
You've
I'm
paid your
joking.
dues. You're
In
done.
all seriousness, I'm an Oscar award-winning actor. Try not to call me.
He's busy.
I can't tell you how much I love you, respect you, and grateful for you and our friendship. So thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just a kid from the neighborhood. And to be sitting here on the couch with you and your team, I'm the grateful one. I'm the lucky one. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.